Today we are going to discuss John Rawls. His book A Theory of Justice became world famous. Philosophers all through the ages debated what is justice. There is debate because people have disagreement over this. But Rawls, writing in 70s, says that there is a very simple way of overcoming all these disagreements. There can be unanimity in terms of what justice is. All those disagreements, debates were unnecessary. Shocking, isn't it? Yes, he offered a very, very convincing theory of justice. Simple, provocative, creative, and widely applicable, unbeatable. It's so simple to begin with. I'll put it differently. Suppose a buyer and a seller want to sign a contract. Buyer will argue what contract should be, and a seller would argue what is a just contract. And they may not agree on what is justice. But Rawls says that suppose buyer and seller do not know whether they are going to be a buyer or a seller. What kind of a contract they are going to sign? And the contract they are going to sign, when they do not know whether they are a buyer or a seller, is a just contract. I am putting it in my own words. As simple as that. Between two people who are going to get married, or a man and a woman, what is a gender just relationship? What is the right relationship between the person who is going out to earn and the person who is staying at home and taking care of the children? What are their rights? What should be their relationship? Rawls' theory would suggest that whatever they think is the right relationship when they do not know who is going to stay at home and who is going to go out, or who is going to play a traditional husband role and who is going to play a traditional wife role. I mean, earning and staying. So, if people don't know what their positions are going to be, then they will think of themselves in different positions, particularly in weaker positions, and then ensure that the transaction or the distribution of resources is fair, is just. Interestingly, Rawls says that both buyer and seller will have only one notion of justice if they do not know what their position is going to be. Husband and wife will have only one notion of justice if they don't know what they are going to be. Rawls is saying that there will be unanimity. And what he said about buyer and seller and husband and wife, they are my examples, but he said about society in general, the way resources are to be distributed. Resources need not be just economic, but political, psychological as well. So if people don't know what their positions are going to be, the principles that they arrive at regarding the distribution of goods, material as well as non-material, constitute principles of justice. As simple as that. Amazing. But Rawls doesn't stop there. He goes on to say, when people do not know their positions, what are the principles that they will choose? So, instead of taking the trouble of asking people what they will choose, Rawls himself proposes certain principles. 3 principles. And then their order of priority. And Rawls uses his understanding of 20th century world in giving those principles and setting their priority. So Rawls is saying how the principle should be chosen and what will be just principles. Both. Amazing. So let us go into the words he used and the specific points he made. He called original position, the so-called original position, to mean when people don't know their positions. When they don't know about their gender, class, they don't know their gender, they don't know their class, caste, religion. Interestingly, they don't even know their abilities. They don't know which abilities are going to get more resources and what abilities they will have. It's called a veil of ignorance. They don't know their positions nor their abilities. So this sets the ground for them to be unbiased and to truly work out what is just. And he makes certain assumptions like that people are not gamblers. They don't gamble on a particular position and say these are the principles of justice, hoping that they will get that position, hoping that one will be a buyer in saying that this is the right contract, or hoping that one will be a husband and this is the proper relationship. No gambling. No altruism. That people are not trying to sacrifice themselves for the sake of others. People are trying to maximize goods for themselves. And what are these goods? Goods are material as well as non-material. Power, prestige, economic. So how the goods are distributed is nothing but the choice of social structure. No gambling, no altruism. No envy also. They don't want to behave in such a way that They want to hurt others, no matter what happens to themselves. No. There is no envy, no altruism, no gambles. They just want to have more of these goods, and these goods are limited. It means that a society with moderate scarcity. Society with a moderate scarcity. They have to choose these goods without envy, without altruism, without gambling. And also, they shouldn't think that once they enter the society, if they don't like their position, they can walk out. No. No exit. Once you enter the society, you are going to remain in the society. And so you have to be careful about what kind of principles that you want to choose. And of course, people should be intelligent and enough to know what makes them happy. I mean, know a bit of themselves. So, these are reasonable assumptions. These are reasonable assumptions. And veil of ignorance. One. These assumptions and veil of ignorance is called original position. And the principles people choose in original position are the principles of justice. Principles chosen in principle of justice. So, this is by choice of the people. Rawls is not giving an ideal. He is thinking that people will choose. That is another creative aspect of this theory. Rawls is not saying that this is the way justice is. Rawls is saying that left to yourself, you will choose. It's your choice. I am only articulating your choice. And also, justice is not something above people's choice. It's not divinely sanctioned. But justice is something people feel intrinsically agree with, and all people feel alike. All that is assumed in Rawls' theory. All people feel alike. It's not a majority opinion, it is unanimity. So, principles chosen in original position are one. All will agree. And that is justice. And as I said, Rawls doesn't end there. He states three principles. Liberties, freedom of speech, association, freedom to worship, freedom of religion, freedom to have a family. Okay, these are more like our fundamental rights. Next, 2A. Equal opportunity. Liberty and equal opportunity. Freedom to have a family, freedom to have religion of one's choice. This is A. But people should have equal opportunities. That's 2A. But will they conflict? Yes. If you give freedom to make money, some people will make more money. And children of a rich man will have superior opportunities compared to children of a poor man. So equal opportunities will be denied if right to make as much money as possible is granted. So one conflicts with 2A. This is a serious problem in any economy. People want to give freedom, but freedom means freedom to make money. It distorts equal opportunities. But Rawls says, this liberties, you should try to create equal opportunity, but should never be at the expense of the freedom. You should try to create equal opportunities to make money, to have a family. But it should never be equal, it should be there. But equal opportunity is important. But liberty more important than equal opportunity. So if one proposes that in the name of equal opportunity, all the children should go to same school and there shouldn't be any private schools with differential fees, Rawls would say no. It may create an equal opportunity, but it is denying the right of the rich people to send their children to better schools. So it means Rawls is making a statement in favor of capitalism. Never suppress liberties. Rawls is not giving ideas of justice in regard to the overall systems, but he is giving certain principles with which systems can be judged. And this 1 greater than 2A supports capitalism. That liberty to make money distorts equal opportunities, but then liberty is more important than equal opportunity. 1 greater than 2. That's one. Next. Rawls gives another principle. Difference principle. Difference principle says that wherever there is an unequal treatment, that unequal treatment should be in favor of those who are least advantaged. SC reservation on the basis of difference principle, ST reservation, difference principle. It means unequal treatment, but in favor of the disadvantaged. Unequal treatment not in favor of the advantaged, but disadvantaged. But why would people choose this principle at all? Remember, Rawls is not proposing things from a higher ethical point of view. Rawls is saying that this is what people will choose. Why would people choose? People choose because they are afraid that they may be in the least advantaged position. And if they find themselves in the least advantaged position, they want the system to work reasonably for them. Reasonably for them. Suppose the society favors particular abilities and they don't have those abilities. Then they want the system to work in such a way, they are given some consideration. That's what difference principle is. So difference principle means that people inherently will not like a situation where there are extreme inequalities. Rich people are those with people with the advantageous abilities to have huge incomes, and without those abilities to have least incomes. That is to say, people won't prefer extreme inequalities. People would say no, extreme inequalities. What would they say to absolute equality? Rawls thinks no. Why? Because if they have the abilities, the system rewards, they want to have more income or more of the goods. So they don't want to be in a position where even after having the abilities that the system appreciates, that the goods or their income is the same or on par with anyone else. No. Absolute equality they won't. It means the Marx idea of communism, where people contribute according to the capacity and take as per their need, according to Rawls, people would reject. People want to have more and more. That is an assumption, and it's very much true. But why they don't like extreme inequalities is that suppose they don't have those abilities, they want the system to be considerate to them. So here he coined certain words. People don't choose maximax, that is, people with advantaged abilities to have maximum. Say, okay, it is like this. Between top 10% have these many goods, bottom 10% have these many goods in system A. In B, top 10% have these many goods, top 10% bottom 10%. According to Rawls, people will choose this, not this. This is called maximax. Those with advantaged variations, their income is maximized. This is Maximin. Those with disadvantaged, their income compared to the alternative is more. Rawls thinks that Maximin will be chosen, not this. Nor these people will choose equality. No. Equality also will not be chosen. They will choose Maximin. Why? Because the goods above a particular level will not contribute to so much of happiness, whereas goods below a level will contribute to so much of unhappiness. So, people above a level will have a less desire for them. People below a level will have more desire for them. So after all, Rawls is assuming that in the original position, people know basic psychology. So they will choose Maximin. This Maximin comes from preferential treatment to the body. So Rawls is saying people will choose reservations. People will choose difference principle. That is natural. Extreme inequalities are unjust. Absolute equality is as much unjust. So how is Rawls able to apply these principles? I think Rawls is making use of 20th century experience. Freedom is important. And extreme inequalities are bad. So definitely there is a lot of consensus on these principles, and Rawls thinks that this consensus is what people would choose in the original position. So that is Rawls' theory of justice, first mentioned in 1971 and modified subsequently.